Hi, I am here to tell you, to remind you of what you already know, and that is that you cannot miss what was meant for you. The choice was already made. You chose to come at this time to incarnate in this life, in this set of circumstances. You're not here to choose anything other than to be awake, to understand why you chose to be here. But you cannot miss anything that is for you. It will always circle around. Sometimes the path is straight, and sometimes in our sleepwalking, we divert and take the long way around. But it always takes us A to Z. You're meant to experience all of those letters, all of those opportunities, all of those choice points in between. Knowing that your higher self placed you here for this. You can't miss what is for you. You are here building a life that your nervous system can thrive in, can live inside, not just survive. You are here to learn how to listen to your body, to be in body, embodied. To understand how to use your divine technology in order to help you see all those steps between where you are and where you want to be. Every time you set an honest boundary moving forward, you will feel instant relief. When you make clean choices, you restore your clarity. And when you live from self-respect, you change the entire emotional atmosphere around you. Reality rises to meet you where you are, as you are, to offer opportunities for you to reach points of coherence between your heart center and your logic, your mind. Your gut knows, your body knows. You will recognize a life that is built for you on trust and truth and faith. It will feel steadier. Recall the story, the tortoise and the hare. There are no shortcuts. Don't fear the long path. Don't fear the energies going slowly. It takes a long time for Earth to move. There are no shortcuts, though others will try to tempt you, to persuade you to follow another way that is outside of your truth, your honest expression. The time is about to be up for them and those energies. They cannot continue on this way for very long. They will burn themselves out. They always burn themselves out. Remember the wildfire. It consumes quickly, but it burns itself out of fuel. And this is what we're watching happening all around us. So let others around you burn hot. They're just clearing out what was dead and what can no longer live and thrive. These individuals who are living this way are not looking behind themselves. They are not paying attention to certain things, to the signposts that are around them. Let them. Let them learn which way to go for themselves, and you follow your path. Remember that some of the best learning comes from those loops and detours around. We are in a pandemic of disrespect. When we have lived in threat mode for long enough, our perception narrows and it increases impulsive behavior. In default, people choose the impulsive short-term gain over long-term integrity, the tortoise and the hare. Be the tortoise. Tap into your ancient wisdom. The tortoise carries its home with it. Know that you are at home wherever you are, even in the middle of what seems to be a world burning down. These energies, internet and technology, have removed the friction from interaction. It furthers that path away from respect. It has given people a megaphone and a mask because they no longer have to face each other to see the micro expressions, to experience the consequences of their actions firsthand. You get to choose whether you listen. You get to choose whether you are one of those that do or one of those who lives with greater integrity and dignity. Integrity, that's a good one. Put those two words together. People who are raised without secure attachment models, and we haven't had a secure attachment model in generations, not since the Industrial Revolution, the World Wars, and the Great Depression. People have been living in survival. And when you are raised without dignity, boundaries, or repair modeled before you, you're going to oscillate between submission, where you sacrifice your being and your truth in order to avoid abandonment, and domination, where we resist control. You have done the work to integrate your shadow, to face and name your inner demons. So practice your security and don't let others oscillate you out of your truth. See it for what it is. Name it. Set the boundaries around yourself where you need to. Modern identity narratives further this path away from respect by emphasizing personal expression without emphasizing responsibility for impact. When there is expression without responsibility, we see people who live self-indulgently. Where we see responsibility without expression, we see repression. Society is entering its adolescent phase. There's identity experimentation, rebellion, emotional volatility, and renegotiation of boundaries. That's the fire that is being raged. It's messy and loud and sometimes ugly, but we are building a mature society. So come back to your center, your self-respect, your standards of dignity, honor, and integrity. You move differently. You always have. That's why you felt isolated, scorned, shunned. What they cursed you for will be the spring that they come to drink when they see that you are well-rooted and do not fall or topple when things look chaotic and disruptive. Leave the hogs to their own oats. This comes from a story that I read I didn't read it, I saw it, where there were two hogs, and the one hog asked for a portion of the oats from the other hog. And the other hog, out of suspicion, refused to give it over, even against the warnings that they were being fattened up so that they could be consumed. Ultimately, the hog with the most oats chose to keep his oats, and the other hog went hungry, but stood in his values and knew he wouldn't be consumed. So stand in your own respect, your self-respect, and do not allow yourself to be consumed by others. Leave them to it. You've cried out the alarm. Your presence set the contrast for them to see. If they are meant to adapt and adopt those strategies, they will mirror, they will model, they will follow, and stand beside you on their own integrity and dignity. I'm being called to the stories of the little red hen and stone soup. These stories both have the same message, but different ends. In the little red hen, she worked and worked to bake her bread from scratch all the way. She picked and harvested the grain. She picked, planted, and harvested the grain. She ground the grain. She rolled it out. She made the bread. And no one would help her along the way. They made excuses. They rationalized and justified what they were doing ahead, but when it came time to eat, they all wanted a portion. In the story of stone soup, everybody was hungry. Everybody had something to offer. But it took somebody going first. One of the characters started with water and stones and threw them in. Others came and added ingredients to it, and in the end, everybody ate. So look for those who are willing to express reciprocity. When you have little, they will support you. When they have little, you support them. And this is how we form links in a chain in communities. Ask yourself, which hog are you going to be? The one who can see those that are out to consume it? Or the one who just blindly accepts the gift without questioning why the gift was given? Gifts given from the world often come with strings. Gifts given from spirit lead to strength, security, and stability. So remember the little red hen and stone soup. This will reveal the intent and who will be fed, and what rises from the ashes of what burns down and passes away. We are in the land of the Lotus Eaters. And in many mythologies, when you eat the food of the land, you become trapped by it. This is paralleled in the story of Snow White, where she ate the poisoned apple, and it entered her into death, which in most traditions doesn't represent literal death, represents transformation. So be aware of the food that you eat. Many will eat the food that is offered, and food is symbolic, right? This is symbolic of narratives in the stories that we are being told. What feeds us and shapes us, right? Because what we eat literally becomes part of our body. It is what makes up our body. So the quality of what we eat is what we build this body with. The same is true for the mind. What stories we absorb, what narratives we conform to, will determine the quality of our thoughts and our being and our expression. If you eat the fruit of the realm, you belong to the realm. So remember Snow White and even Persephone. Persephone was born in the land of summer, of harvest, daughter of Demeter, the goddess of abundance and harvest. She was born in the land of summer, and she chose to eat the food of the underworld. She chose to. She wanted to. The story often has been reshaped to make her a victim, that she was trapped there by it, but she chose in the original myths because she knew she could metabolize it, transform it, like Snow White did, and integrate it in order to serve a greater purpose. So she became queen of the underworld and of summer. In the book of Revelation, there is an angel who stands with 1 foot on land and 1 foot in the water. That is what that creates. The ability to navigate both worlds. But only if you have done the work to metabolize it, integrate it, and transform it. And you're here listening to me because you have. So be aware that you are in the land of the Lotus Eaters. There are stories and narratives being shaped all around you about what is good, right, and true. And not all of it is good, right, and true. So be very aware of what you are consuming, what you are absorbing, and use your gut and your system, your sensory information, your awareness to integrate and transmute and transform these energies. Snow White rose from eating the apple, a queen instead of an estranged princess. She went from being hunted to ruling. Persephone went from being captive to queen. So stand in your trust of your sight and your power and your ability to see signs. Choose the reality that enters your body. Choose self-respect, and your self-respect will ripple. Your self-respect will choose your path, will form your path, not choose your path. Your self-respect will form your path through this land, these times, this chaos, and it will turn what is around you into compost so that your garden can thrive and grow. Welcome to the land of the Lotus Eaters. Will you be consumed, or will you let your self-respect win? That's what I have. I send you my love and healing energies. I would love to hear from you in the comments so that I can support and empower you on your journey as well. Links in a chain. Together we are many. Alone we are just one. I love you.